librarians at the Robbins Library, and welcome to Camp Read A Lot. We're going to be reading stories on Mondays and Fridays all throughout the summer, so join us for different librarians and different stories every week. Today we're going to start off with singing The Wheels on the Bus, and then we'll read some stories. So, are you ready? The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The doors on the bus, they open and shut, open and shut, open and shut. The doors on the bus, they open and shut, all through the town. The babies on the bus cry, wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. The babies on the bus cry, wah, 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 all through the town. The parents on the bus say, shh, 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 shh. The parents on the bus say, shh, 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 all through the town. Okay, you ready for some stories? Here's a good summertime book. It's called Blueberries for Sal by Robert McCloskey. One day, little Sal went with her mother to Blueberry Hill to pick blueberries. Little Sal brought along her small tin pail, and her mother brought a large tin pail to put berries in. "We will take our berries home and can them," said her mother. "Then we will have food for the winter." Little Sal picked 3 berries and dropped them in her little tin pail. Kaplink, kaplink, kaplunk. She picked 3 more berries and she ate them. Then she picked more berries and dropped 1 in the pail, kaplunk, and the rest she ate. Little Sal ate all 4 blueberries out of her pail. Uh-oh, she's not making much progress. Her mother walked slowly through the bushes, picking blueberries as she went and putting them in her pail. Little Sal struggled along behind, picking blueberries and eating every single one. Little Sal hurried ahead and dropped a blueberry in her mother's pail. It didn't sound kaplink because the bottom of the pail was already covered with berries. She reached down inside to get her berry back. Though she really didn't mean to, she pulled out a large handful because there were so many berries right up next to her berry and right up close to the one that she had put in. Her mother stopped picking and said, "Now, Sal, you run along and pick your own berries. Mother wants to take her berries home and can them for next winter." Her mother went back to her picking, but little Sal, because her feet were tired of standing and walking, sat down in the middle of a large clump of bushes and ate blueberries. On the other side of Blueberry Hill, Little Bear came with his mother to eat blueberries. "Little Bear," she said, "eat lots of berries and grow big and fat. We must store up food for the long, cold winter." Little Bear followed along behind his mother as she walked slowly through the bushes eating berries. Little Bear stopped now and then to eat berries, and then he had to hustle to catch up. Because his feet were tired of hustling, he picked out a large clump of bushes and sat down right in the middle and ate blueberries. Over on the other side of the hill, little Sal ate all of the berries she could reach from where she was sitting, and then she started out to find her mother. She heard a noise from around a rock and thought, "Oh, that must be my mother walking along." But it was a mother crow and her children, and they stopped eating berries and flew away saying, "Caw, caw, caw." Then she heard another noise in the bushes and she thought, "That surely is my mother. I will go that way." Uh-oh, but it was Little Bear's mother. She was tramping along, eating berries and thinking about storing up food for the winter. So little Sal stamped along right behind. By this time, Little Bear had eaten all the berries he could reach without moving from his clump of bushes. Then he hustled off to catch up with his mother. He hunted and hunted for his mother, but she was nowhere to be seen. He heard a noise from over a stump and thought, "Ah, that is my mother walking along." Oh no, but it was a mother partridge and her children. They stopped eating berries and hurried away. Then he heard a noise in the bushes and thought, "Oh, that surely is my mother. I will hustle that way." Uh-oh. But it was little Sal's mother instead. She was walking along picking berries and thinking about canning them for next winter. Little Bear hustled along right behind. So, Little Bear and Little Sal's mother and Little Sal and Little Bear's mother were all mixed up with each other among the blueberries on Blueberry Hill. Little Bear's mother heard Sal walking along behind and thought it was Little Bear and said, "Little Bear, eat all you can possibly hold." Little Sal said nothing. She picked the 3 berries and dropped them in, kaplink, kaplank, kaplunk, in her small tin pail. Little Bear's mother turned around to see what on earth could make a noise like kaplunk. She cried, choking on a mouthful of berries. "This is not my child. Where is Little Bear?" She took one good look and backed away. She was old enough to be shy of people, even a very small person like Little Sal. And then she turned around and walked off very fast to hunt for Little Bear. Little Sal's mother heard Little Bear tramping on behind and thought it was Little Sal. She kept right on picking and thinking about canning blueberries for next winter. Little Bear padded up and peeked into her pail. Of course, she only wanted to taste a few of what was inside, but there were so many and they were so close together that she tasted a tremendous mouthful by mistake. "Now, Sal," said Little Sal's mother without turning around, "you run along and pick your own berries. Mother wants to can these for next winter." Little Bear tasted another tremendous mouthful and almost spilled the entire pail of blueberries. Little Sal's mother turned around and gasped, "Oh my goodness, you're not Little Sal. Where is my child?" Little Bear just sat there munching and swallowing and licking his lips. Little Sal's mother slowly backed away. She was old enough to be shy of bears, even very small bears like Little Bear. Then she turned and walked away quickly to look for Little Sal. She hadn't gone very far before she heard a kaplink, kaplank, kaplunk. She knew just what made that kind of noise. Little Bear's mother had not hunted very long before she heard a hustling sound that stopped now and then to munch and swallow. She knew just what made that kind of noise. Little Bear and his mother went home down one side of Blueberry Hill, eating blueberries all the way and full of food stored up for next winter. And Little Sal and her mother went down the other side of Blueberry Hill, picking berries all the way, and drove home with food to can for next winter. A whole pail of blueberries and 3 more besides. There they are, canning blueberries. Okay. And then let's sing "Row, row, row your boat." Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently out to sea. Merrily, 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 then come back with me. Row, row, row your boat gently on the tide. Merrily, 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 to the other side. Row, row, row your boat gently back to shore. Merrily, 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 home for cake at 4. All right, now I'm hungry. It's time for lunch. One more book. This is Thank You, Omu. On the corner of the First Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Omu was cooking a thick red stew in a big fat pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a small taste. Mmm, what a delicious stew, Omu said. Tonight's dinner will surely be the best I have ever had. With that, Omu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block until, knock, someone was at the door. When Omu opened it, she saw a little boy, Omu exclaimed. What brings you to my home? Oh, I was playing with my race car down the hall when I smelled the most delicious smell, the little boy replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Stew, he sighed. That sure smells yummy. Omu thought for a moment. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit of it. It would not hurt to share. Would you like some? The little boy nodded, and so Omu spooned out some of her thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Omu, the little boy said, and went on his way. With that, Omu closed the door and went back to her book. As she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door and down the hall and toward the street and around the block until, knock, knock, someone was at the door. When Omu opened the door this time, she saw, a police officer. Mrs. Police Officer, Omu exclaimed, what brings you to my house? I was on duty down the street when I smelled the most delicious smell, Miss Police Officer replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Oh, stew, she said, and her mouth watered. That sounds mighty tasty. Omu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share. Would you like some? The police officer nodded. Once again, Omu spooned out the thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Omu, said the officer, and went on her way. And so for the second time, Omu closed the door and went back to her book. Sure enough, as she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door and down the hall and toward the street and around the block until again someone was at Omu's door. This time, when she opened it, she saw a hot dog vendor. Mr. Hot Dog Vendor, Omu exclaimed, what brings you to my home? I was selling my hot dogs down the block when I smelled the most delicious smell, Mr. Hot Dog Vendor replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Oh, stew, the vendor licked his lips. That sounds quite delectable. So Omu spooned out some of her thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Omu, the hot dog vendor said, and went on his way. Throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Omu's door. She fed a shop owner, a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker, and even the mayor stopped by. And each time they knocked, Omu shared. Soon the sky darkened, the street lights brightened, and it was finally time for dinner. Oh no, but when Omu opened her big fat pot of thick red stew for her nice evening meal, it was empty. Omu sniffled. There goes the best dinner I ever had. Sorry and blue, she sat at the table with her empty pot until knock, 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 knock. Who could that be? Omu wondered. And when she opened her door, she saw the little boy, the police officer, the hot dog vendor, the shop owner, the cab driver, the doctor, the actor, the lawyer, the dancer, the baker. Why, everyone she fed today was at her door. Sorry, everyone, Omu sighed. My thick red stew is all gone. I have nothing left to share. The little boy tugged on Omu's sleeve. Don't worry, Omu, we're not here to ask. We're here to give. The police officer carried in a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roast chicken, and the baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Even the little boy presented Omu with something special in a shiny red envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Omu's door that day squeezed into her tiny apartment, and together they ate and danced and celebrated. While Omu's big fat pot of thick red stew was empty, her heart was full of happiness and love. That dinner was the best she ever had. Thank you, Omu. Okay, that's it for stories for today. Thank you for coming to Camp Read-A-Lot, and we'll see you again soon.